Welcome to the Academic Success Center video workshop, Help, I Ran Out of Time, How to Improve Your Time Management. One of the most common struggles that college students face is effectively managing their time, and we are here to help. This video will take you through a few activities to build your time management skills. This will not be a presentation or a lecture. Even though this is a video, you will have the chance to do some hands-on activities. During this workshop video, I hope that we can accomplish a few goals. By the end of our time together, you will be able to practice prioritizing tasks, create a to-do list and a weekly schedule to organize your semester, and identify some electronic time management tools. There are a few things you will need in order to practice these time management tools. If you are using a computer, you will need a blank Microsoft Word document or a Google Doc that you can type into. You will also need to open the weekly schedule, a document that you can find back on the ASC website alongside the workshop video links. If you prefer to handwrite, you will need a writing utensil, multiple colored highlighters, markers, pencils, or crayons, a blank sheet of paper, and a printed copy of the weekly schedule. Again, that document that you can find back on our website with the time management tools. You can also make your own weekly schedule with a blank sheet of paper. You will notice a red stoplight on this slide. That's to indicate that you can pause the video if you need some more time to gather these materials. Let's start with creating a to-do list and then practice prioritizing. These may sound simple, but they are two crucial steps to effective time management and effective stress management. We're going to begin our first activity together. This is called a brain dump. On your blank page, I'm going to give you 90 seconds to write down everything that you must do in the next 7 days. Write down things for class, but also other things for work, with friends or family, errands, and anything else you need to do this week. Remember that I'm only going to give you 90 seconds. Okay, are you ready to start? And go. So you should be writing everything that you can think of that you must do in this next week. You have 60 seconds left. If you're having trouble thinking of things at this point, think about shopping and anything that you need to just operate normally. Also think about any prep work that you need to do for classes, reading the textbook, reviewing things in Blackboard. You have 30 seconds left. Last 10 seconds. Okay, how did that go? Consider doing this brain dump at the start and end to every day. Instead of having all of your to-do tasks taking up valuable processing energy in your brain, write them all down so you can spend more brain power on studying. This will also help you to make a concrete plan for each day, which is a stress reliever. So let's put aside our task list for a moment and we'll come back to it. So the way I see it, time management is built on prioritizing what needs to be completed first and then planning time for everything else. So first we need to talk about prioritizing. A prioritization matrix helps you to categorize your to-do list into 3 categories: have to, should do, and want to. Have to items are most critical. Often these are most critical because of time, but there are other reasons why some of these could be urgent. Perhaps you haven't grocery shopped for 2 weeks and you literally can't eat unless you go to the store today. Items in the have to category must be completed today before you can go to sleep for the night. Should do items can also be time sensitive, but maybe they're due later in the week and/or they won't take a lot of time to complete. They can also be smaller chunks of a larger project that will help you to stay on track to finishing the project on time. This could also be, for example, extra credit work. You want to do it, it would help your grade, but it may not be the most critical during a hectic week because it won't hurt your grade if you don't get to it. Finally, there is a want to category. This could be for social events, clubs and organizations, or other things that are not class related. This may seem very simple, but how you prioritize is really unique to you. It's based on your goals, it's based on your values. Things that you identify as have to, others may categorize as want to. What is objective, though, about all of this is that all students can use this system to stay organized and to think about how they are spending their time. All right, it's time to practice prioritizing. On the next slide, you will see our friend John's to-do list. Use your blank sheet to jot down which of his tasks are have to, which are should do, and which are want to. Are you ready to start? Here you see John's to-do list, items A through I. Take time to determine how John should prioritize and note which of his tasks fall into each of the 3 prioritization categories. If you wish to view John's list in a document or to print it out, you can find it on the website along with the other time management materials. You will again notice a red stoplight on this slide. This indicates that you may want to pause the video here to complete this activity. Simply press play when you're ready to move on. Let's talk about how you prioritize John's tasks. Please note that there are no right or wrong answers for this activity. What you are about to see is just one person's answers, and they may differ from yours, and that's okay. What items were in the have to category for you? Since his English paper is due tomorrow, I decided that this was a have to item for sure. However, I still wanted to break this larger assignment down into steps. Otherwise, it can feel really overwhelming when trying to get started. In addition, because the paper is due tomorrow night, this allows me to start it, but to also save time to study for the psych exam since it's tomorrow morning. I like to be clean, so the laundry was a have to item for me. I decided that I can multitask though and study or spend a few minutes calling my friend while I'm doing the laundry. What are some other things that you thought about? I put dinner with mom into should do because I value this, but I could probably call mom and let her know I'm feeling overwhelmed and need to do dinner this weekend instead of tonight. Communicating is important so that your friends and family know that you value your academics. This helps them to respect your study and class time, and it helps them to know that they will still have time with you. These other items in should do are things that I would like to do today, but it's not dire if I don't get to them. However, doing even one of these things today would put me ahead of the game for tomorrow. So don't completely disregard these. Did you put the party on the want to list? I did, but I decided that I could go if I got through all of my have to items by 9 p.m. This is a really great way to reward myself for being productive, a good incentive to fight procrastination. You may also, though, need to limit the amount of time you spend there since you do have an exam the next morning. I put work here also. It can be really hard to say no to paid opportunities, but if you cannot take the ding to your grade, then it's just not feasible. For instance, John would take major hits to his English paper and psych exam grades if he decided to work today. It's time to return to your to-do list. First, I want you to break down any large assignments or projects on your list into smaller tasks. For instance, instead of write English paper, you may have create and save Word document, or write outline, or write 2 paragraphs, etc. This helps fight procrastination because it is less overwhelming and gives you a specific action step to take. Next, prioritize your to-do list by starring your have-to items. What do you need to do today? Remember, your have-tos are things that you need to do before you go to bed tonight. Note the red stoplight. If you need more time, please pause the video and start again when you're ready. It's time for step 2. Now that you have your to-do list and you've prioritized, it's time to think about planning time to actually complete this list. We're going to make a weekly schedule that accounts for all of your time. We're going to use different colors to identify how you use all of your time. Everything will be labeled, and this includes me time, eating, sleeping, etc. So not just studying, we're really looking at how you spend all of your time in a week. For this section, you will need 6 different colored highlighters, markers, or crayons, and a printed copy of the weekly schedule if you're doing this by hand. You could also make your own version of the weekly schedule on a blank sheet of paper if you don't have a printer handy. If you are using the computer, you'll just need to open the weekly schedule document and save it to a safe location so that you can return to it when you want to start following your plan. Let's start with class time. These are fixed times that don't change each week. Pick one color and color in the times that you have class. Remember that each block represents 30 minutes and the first column begins with Sunday. Have an online class without set meeting times? Look at the number of credit hours and plan for that many class hours each week. For instance, if you have an asynchronous, which just means that there are no set meeting times, online class that is 3 credit hours, then fill in 3 hours of class time for that course. The difference with this is that you can select when you, quote, attend this class. How do you pick, you might be asking? You could think about when you are most able to focus. For instance, if you're an afternoon person, then you might want to select an afternoon time for this online classes schedule. Or if you have a busy work schedule, you may want to revisit this after you fill in your work hours. You may notice that an online class has consistent due dates and may want to schedule around those instead. For instance, if a class has a discussion board post due every Wednesday, you may want to schedule time for this class on Monday or Tuesday to be able to complete that assignment early every week. With any method, scheduling in this time will ensure that you have ample time devoted to your online courses, and this will help you remember to check into these classes regularly. You will notice that this slide has the red stoplight. Pause the video if you need more time for this step. If you work, select a second color and fill in your weekly work schedule. If your work schedule varies, fill in a typical week and adjust the plan as needed. Just make sure that the total number of work hours in your schedule is representative of the number of hours you usually work. Are you involved in student organizations? Perhaps your student org time goes here, or perhaps that is grouped with your personal time instead, and we'll add that later on. Make sure you mark somewhere in the margins what each color represents. After scheduling work, find a third color and fill in study times. The average number of study hours needed is 2 study hours for every 1 credit hour. More time may be recommended by your program. So if you are taking 15 credit hours, that means that you should have 30 study hours scheduled per week. This may seem like a lot, but study includes everything. Things like preparing for class, writing papers, completing homework, studying for exams, and attending tutoring and supplemental instruction sessions. Again, you'll notice the stoplight, so pause if you need more time to color code your study times. Next, find a fourth color and block out times to eat. You may eat breakfast on the go, and if that's the case, you may find that you skip noting breakfast times on your schedule. However, you want to set aside time to eat lunch and dinner for sure. Lunch should be 30 minutes at least, and dinner is recommended to be 1 hour to provide you time to prepare food or travel to your dinner location. Remember that your brain literally needs food to function, so don't skip meals and try your best to eat healthy foods to optimize brain functioning, including attention and concentration. Your brain also needs sleep to function, so your fifth color will allow you to block out all of your sleep time. You will see that our overnight hours are in 1 hour blocks instead of half-hour blocks. When deciding on sleep time, remember that your brain works best on routine. So going to bed and waking up around the same time every night can be helpful, especially if you have trouble sleeping soundly and or paying attention throughout the day. It's now time to note when you will have time for yourself and for friends and family. This is the final category, so all remaining blocks should be this sixth color. Are the time blocks remaining not ideal for personal or social time? Then swap some things around so that your plan works best for you. The weekly schedule works best when you have been realistic about what time you will need to devote to your studies and realistic about what you can commit to. For instance, you need additional study hours in your week, but you want to go out with friends on Friday nights. So perhaps you can compromise by adding a couple of study hours in at lunchtime and still save your Friday nights for personal time. Remember that personal time is really, really valuable, and it's okay to protect it. If you stick to your study plan, you don't have to spend your personal time feeling guilty for not getting things done. And if you have time reserved for personal time, then it's easier to stick to your study time because you know that you have these breaks scheduled into your week as well. This schedule isn't permanent, but try to follow your schedule for 1 week and then make changes based on how things went. Maybe you scheduled yourself to start studying on the weekends at 9 a.m., but you could not get yourself out of bed before 11 a.m. Then maybe you want to schedule study time starting at 11 instead. Keep in mind, though, that this means that you'll need to end later as well to get the same number of study hours into your week. Ultimately, you want to have a routine to follow for your semester. Will you need to modify it some weeks? Absolutely. But this is a great guide to ensure that you have ample time devoted to critical things like class, studying, and your personal and social time. Now it's time for step 3. Here we want to discover some of the apps and electronic resources that could help you to manage your time more wisely. So let's summarize what we've done so far. We've practiced creating to-do lists, prioritizing them, and creating a weekly schedule. You can do this on paper, or you can use one of many electronic tools to manage your time. There are tools to help you schedule your time, tools to help you create to-do lists and prioritize them, and tools to help you fight distractions. Let's talk about a select tool that you have access to through your Kent account. That first one is Google Calendar. Here you can enter in the weekly schedule that you created today, as well as important events such as exams and deadlines. At the start of each semester, go through each of your syllabi and enter your due dates into your Google Calendar or into your paper planner, whatever tool you prefer to use. The second tool we'll talk about is AnyDo, which has a lot more features and is very structured. You can enter a task to complete, and you can even assign a deadline for yourself. AnyDo will also send you reminders when you begin your day. For example, my reminder this morning was, "Good morning, you have 5 things to do today." This may seem like a lot, but remember that I break my assignments down into small chunks so I can check items easily off of my list. Next is Google Keep, which allows you to make a to-do list. It's like a blank digital piece of paper. You decide how you want to format your list. You can insert checkboxes, write things to do, and click the checkbox to mark when your task is done. The task will then become gray and go to the bottom of the list. Pretty cool. If you need help staying off of your phone during study, there are great apps for that. Flora and Forest are apps that reward you for staying off of your phone. You can set a period of time that you want to study, or for instance, if you want to do this for class, and then press start. During this period of time, your phone grows a virtual tree. The challenge is to stay off of your phone while the tree grows. If you use your phone during this period, the tree dies and you lose. Pocket Points also helps you avoid the distraction of your cell phone. However, with Pocket Points, you can earn points to cash in for rewards and discounts at various stores, both online and in person. Some examples include a free ride on Lyft, a free Chick-fil-A sandwich, or discounted pizza at Papa John's. Some students say that the rewards aren't that great, but I'll let you decide for yourself. It's time now for our final step. It's time to review what you've learned and decide on the first step to improve time management for you. Think about everything you've done throughout this video. You've compiled all that you need to accomplish. You've created a to-do list. You prioritize that list, and you've scheduled a routine to ensure that you have time to complete that list, but also to do other important things like sleep, eat, go to class, work, and play. On the same sheet of paper or in the same document that you used for your time management list, write down one thing you can start doing today to begin to better manage your time. So you found your way to the Academic Success Center Learning Skill videos. I want to take a minute to make sure you know about all of the other resources that we can offer. First, if you like this video but want some personalized help developing your learning skills, check out our academic coaching program. Our peer coaches can help you learn different study strategies and figure out how to incorporate those into your routine. We also offer different types of tutoring for over 80 Kent Core courses. And finally, we offer supplemental instruction, more commonly known as SI, which is peer-led study groups that focus on active learning for your specific course section, because the SI leader attends class with you, even though they've taken the course before. If you feel comfortable shopping on your own, you can browse and register for all services on the ASC website. However, we welcome you to stop into the office, call or email us so that we can help you shop services and decide which service will best fit your needs. Thank you for your time today, and we hope to see you in the Academic Success Center.